My name is Dana Blacky. Um, Blacky is my mother's last name, and my father's maiden name is Cloud. I'm from Waiwasi-Capital, Manitoba. Um, I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in June. And to be honest, I just finished getting out of incarceration. I was in Regina Remand Center. Um, I beat my charges and everything like that. Oh, thank you. Um, but I met a lot of people inside the correctional that were spiritually lost and struggling. I helped a lot of them. I helped a lot of them in there, um, kind of stay with their cultural ways, help them get through every day and everything like that. Um, I want to continue working with inmates and help them, just help them, I guess, get any kind of personal things they need from the inside. You know, faxes, paperwork to their lawyers, stuff like that. It'll be a free phone call. It'll help me keep busy, and it'll just make me happy knowing that I'm helping them, right? Because being in there and being a part of the system for a while, I know how it feels when nothing works out in your favor. Like when you just want to get your charges dealt with, and you can't, right? Um, it's just a hard thing to deal with, right? Spiritually. So I help the guys in there do that, and I want to continue doing that on the outside here, and also I'm a part of Straight Up um, in Saskatoon, and I'd like to help them reach out to the younger generation to help them stay away from the streets and gang life because of all the drugs out there that people are dying from now, and it's really affecting our youth. And having children of my own, you know, a couple of my kids are getting older. I'm happy that they graduated and they're doing good and everything, but there's still the younger ones, you know, that still have a chance to get caught up in that kind of life. So knowing that, knowing I have kids around that age, I wouldn't want my younger kids to fall into that kind of life and have to fall into a world of addictions and stuff, right? So if I can help my kids get out of that life and stay out of that life, um, I'd like to take a chance and start helping the youth do that as well. I don't know how much of a help I would be, but even if I got through to maybe one child out of the 20, right? That's I feel that I would be doing something. I'd be doing something to help, right? Um, that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to right now. Coming to the sweat um, really helped me because I was scared. You know, I'll be honest, I was scared when I came out. I started staying with my son, and I don't know what it is. It's reality that kind of scares you, right? Um, you're not too sure what you're going to do when you're on the outs, right? As for me this time around, I knew I was going to do good. I knew I was going to stay away from trouble and everything. And being with my friend and my son, coming to the sweat has really helped me see the path that I want to stay on. So I want to learn more about my culture and share it with the younger generation. But first, I gotta learn it myself, right? So I have my oldest son to help me do that because he's very much into it. His heart's in the right place, and he enjoys it. I wish I could have did that kind of stuff when I was his age. I didn't have anybody to really teach me. I think it's because of the lot of the stuff that went through with our people in residential school. Like I've never went to a residential school myself, right? So I don't know firsthand what they went through. The only things I know is what my parents told me about it. Um, but being an intergenerational um, survivor of it, I guess, um, you know, it still affected me growing up. You know, not being close to my culture and stuff. So now I want to encourage my son to pick up where I could have picked up from, and yeah, just help him heal other people if possible. It's a time of reconciliation, so we got to start thinking of our people, especially the younger generation. I know it's hard for the older generation to come forward and talk about their stories, but without them doing that, I don't think the younger generation are really going to understand what the whole meaning of this reconciliation is all about. I think they're going to have to listen to these stories and um, kind of have these stories grab them in the heart, you know, so they can understand what's going on and really appreciate what's going on. Without that, I don't think they will. It's just going to be kind of like another slough off, I guess you could say. People aren't going to take it that seriously. They're going to grow up and they're going to be like, oh yeah, they said they were sorry, they said this and they said that, and we got money and all this stuff. But that's not what it's all about. It's all about sharing stories and, you know, grabbing people's heart so they'll understand. And yeah, it's pretty much about reconciliation. Like I'm hoping that it comes through, and uh, I'm really hoping the government comes through too. They said they were going to help us. They said a lot of things, and they're actually starting to do it. They're actually starting to do it, and it's good to see. It's good to see. Um, but as for myself, uh, I'm feeling good about myself. I feel confident about myself. I have my son there with me now. You know, Growing up, I lived a hard life on the street and everything. I had a good family to go to, but I chose the hard life on the street. Uh, I kind of figured, okay, if I could survive out there, I could pretty much survive anything, right? So I did. It was hard. It wasn't easy. But now I'm older and I want to concentrate on being a better grandfather than I was a father to my kids. Even though I can't really say I was a bad father, but I could have been there a little bit more than I was. I understand that. So knowing that, I just want to be a better grandfather and be there for my grandkids now. And yeah, just learn off my son. My son knows more about the culture than I do, and I'm twice his age, and that just makes me so proud of my son. You know. So if I have to learn off of the younger generation, one of my children, that's okay to me. That's okay to me. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna help us grow closer together, and hopefully it, passes on to his siblings. My other children, maybe their friends. I'm looking forward to it. Well, let's see. When I was on the outs and I was living on the street, the addictions took over, and um, I didn't really think about my cultural ways and stuff. I actually didn't really start thinking about it and thinking about living that way until I actually went inside. When I got incarcerated and I was doing remand time, that's when I met an elder from Duck Lake, and he made me a Wascapios, and I went out there and helped him with sweats and everything inside the jail, and um, tried explaining a little bit of the teachings to the other inmates, right, that didn't know anything about it. Because a lot of them, they grew up with their cookums, their mushums, sharing a little bit, but they're still unsure. Like they still didn't know everything about it. So when I was inside there, and me being an older guy, uh, I don't know, it was something that brought them to me. Like it must have attracted them to me or something. They must have felt comfortable with me because I could explain to them that you weren't supposed to use drugs, you weren't supposed to do any of that before you go to sweat. Just little things like that, right? I teach them how to pray with like smudge and pray and everything. And some of them kind of didn't know how to pray, right? They'd leave it to me and say, "Oh, you go ahead and pray." So I took it upon myself to pray. You know, um, Me being a person that was kind of shy in that way myself, like, and really uh, didn't know what to say. Like, I wasn't a person to lead, I guess, in that kind of way in prayers and stuff like that. I was always the guy on the sideline, expecting somebody else older or something to know what to do. So this time around, it was kind of different. It was a learning experience because I had no choice, right? Like I just had to follow my heart and say what I had to say, and it helped because a lot of these boys they learned their culture and helped them. There's a few boys that got out of the gang life. I helped them get out of the gang life, and they're doing good actually. They beat their charges, staying out of trouble, and now I just want to work with the youth and help them get away from that kind of life as well. Well, to be honest with you, growing up, I was quite surprised about how, like, when I grew up with a lot of Caucasian people, right? Because my stepdad was RCMP officer, DOTC police in Manitoba. So we got moved around lots. and they used to ask me lots about my culture, like even urbanic and everything. I'd have white kids coming up to me offering their fully loaded club sandwiches for a piece of bannock and onions and bologna, right? And they liked it. They liked it. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure, I'll take your ham and cheese and all that stuff, right? But they were really interested in it. It's something about it caught their eye. Now I have friends. I have Caucasian friends. I have Spanish friends. I have friends that are from like Somalia and everything. And these people talk and sound more like a native than I do half the time because they're so used to like it's so multicultural now that after hanging around with native people for so long, it's just like it becomes a part of them, becomes a part of their personality, their character, right? So that's what I mean. Like even when it comes to racism and everything nowadays, you don't really see it anymore too much. It's there. I think it's always going to be there, but it's not as bad as it was when I was a little boy. You know, uh, nowadays there's a lot more people trying to stick up for each other, like equality, right? You know, I was thinking about that one day when I was walking home. I was like looking at the color of my skin. I was like, man, it's too bad. It's too bad that that makes a difference. Something as scientific as that, pigmentation of the skin, how something so small and trivial can affect such a big, you know. Um, but it's looking good. Like I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to growing old in the future because it's changing and it's changing for the better. Like I said earlier, I mentioned earlier about the government finally trying to help us out and take a step forward, right? Because before they just talked about it, you know. Now they're actually stepping up. They're trying to do something, and it's looking good. Well, to be honest with you, I honestly really, really hope that the survivors from residential school and day school, uh, I really hope and pray that they find the courage to step up and share their stories. I know it's hard, um, but like they say, out of some pain, you can get some positive. I believe that if our elders and the people that survived, including my mother and them, if their generation can share more stories, I know some of it's graphic and it's hard to tell, but I think a lot of that pain is going to be part of the solution. Even if they might have to relive it one more time, um, but they're going to have to start doing it with the younger generation. We got to get the younger generation more involved in listening, um, because that's where it all begins, right? When it comes to everything, as the younger generation. So, and we are. I see it. I see. We're starting to teach our younger generation a lot of things. Being inside, incarcerated, you get a TV and you get to watch the world go by. You get to watch the outside world from inside, and you get to see and learn everything what's going on up there, right? Even though you don't have a voice, you're inside. But I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot about everything that's going on out here, and it's just happy because I'm out and I can be a part of it. And if I can be a part of that healing process with my son and everything, then I'm looking forward to it. Now, um, meeting nice people like you are just a part of that journey. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good day. Unsaid, and anything I'd like to add? Well, not really. I pretty much said it all about the older generation and the younger generation, right? The older generation's got to tell their stories. The younger generation's got to listen. Um, but I think that's the only way they're going to get the younger generation to understand is by uh, telling them these hurtful stories, so they'll tug at the younger hearts, so they'll truly understand what's going on. I think that's the only way it's going to change. But with the government stepping up and everything like that, it's good news. Finally. I just want to say I don't want anybody to give up. Just don't give up. Tomorrow's another day. If you feel it in your heart, you want to do something or say something, then you do it and you say it. You know what I mean?